So how should you be designing or laying out the very top of your email for best results? Well, I'm going to dive into that. And luckily, I've got the book that was recently published, and I really talk about this. I want to share one example, or maybe two, but one of these is from Innovate. And this is kind of a simple topic, but I see a lot of brands not really doing this very well. And I think it definitely, well, I don't think, I know it hurts them from looking at some analytics of things that I've tested and I've tried. So I want to share with you kind of best practices for setting this up. So this is at the very top of the email, right? When someone opens it, what they're going to see generally is a logo, some sort of branding, and then some sort of navigational elements. Okay, we're going to stop there because there are things you can optimize and things you can do here as far as best practices. So the very first thing, what I would do is you want to have your brand, your logo, whether it's off-centered or not going to get into that. You can definitely test that, or depending on how your brand logo looks, but have that logo front and center, right? That way it's immediately obvious whether or not, the subject line drew them in, or you use your brand name in the subject line. When they open it, they're going to know who it is. Also, that image should be linked, and I generally would advise linking it to the homepage unless there's a reason to go elsewhere, but people expect to be able to click that image and go somewhere or tap it on their phones. Okay, I've seen that time and time again where it's not linked. It's kind of annoying. People are just used to it, and I don't know why it gets left out sometimes, but make sure that that is linked for user experience so they can quickly go to the store. Now, as far as that image size, if you need to, you don't want this to take up a ton of space, right? Because this is going to push things down, but you don't want to have a tiny logo. If you need just a kind of idea of where to start, I generally advise saying about 300 pixels wide is as good as it needs to be. Just depends, again, the overall size of it. So go with what doesn't push things down too much. If you need to change that a little bit, of course, it could be 350, it could be 200. It's whatever kind of looks right and works, but you can use 300 as that ballpark figure. Now, the second part of this, so to go back and let's look at this Innovate email, we see the menu up here, right? Very easy, very simple. It doesn't detract from the rest of the email. And they have 3 elements. So generally, that's what I would advise is 2, maybe 3 elements. With theirs, they're spread out real well. And for them, it makes sense, right, of where it goes. For Innovate, they do shoes and other kind of outdoor equipment. And so they have run, gym, hike, right? Great. That's 3 big categories that the people who are getting these emails would be interested in shopping for. Another one here I have is Smart Wool, okay? You can see over here, they have 3, and they've kind of done it a little bit differently. They've got their branding, and then they've got the navigational elements, but it still works. And they have men's, women's, kids, all right? Keeping it real simple. So I've seen this in some cases where people will have like 7 navigational elements, and it's just overkill. You don't need that. And the main goal, remember, of the email should be the email itself, and probably not just to have people clicking on navigational elements. So now that they've opened it, they've seen the branding, there are some general navigational elements in case they're thinking, okay, this is a great email, but boy, I want to get something for my kid, or I need something for, a friend or this or that. That's great. But generally you want them to move on to the email and have the navigational elements there as a backup so they can quickly get where they need to go. So highly recommend this. Take a look at your emails, make sure that you're kind of following this. Of course, there's leeway either way, but you don't want to have huge logos or be missing the branding. Also, of course, make sure that they're linked, and then check out your navigational elements. Make sure that they're there, but they're simple and they're not detracting from the email. If you'd like help with your e-commerce email marketing, you can get in touch with me, Adam Moody, at oasisoptimization.com.